said the road had no name, only a number county road 2679, and a mile marker that people refused to photograph after dark. In the Texas Hill country roads are stories first and asphalt second. Some are stitched together with cattle guards and mesquite roots, some with rumors. This one was sewn with a wreck and a vow. Jack thought rumors were a shortcut to views. Lisa thought rumors needed angles and thumbnails. Tom thought rumors were begging to be disproved. Sarah thought rumors hid a kernel of truth sharp enough to draw blood. Kevin, a quiet editor with shoulders curled in from years of cutting footage, didn't think much of anything. He just didn't like the way the horizon looked like it could swallow a car whole. They came in two vehicles, the way foolhardy pilgrims bring both a prayer and an offering. Jack drove the lead sedan, rented spotless, a clear windshield like an empty screen, begging for projection. Tom rode shotgun with a rigged DSLR, and Kevin sat in back, hugging a hard case of mics like a flotation device. Behind them, Sarah handled the SUV with Lisa beside her phone on gimbal live chat bubbles, blooming and popping like fireflies. A sign leaned half-broken in the grass, "Watch for livestock." The last orange of sunset peeled away, leaving only the husk of light. The blacktop shone like something slick-backed and freshly combed. Cicadas chittered in a high continuous electric whine, and somewhere far off a pump, Jack groaned in a slow metallic rhythm. The convoy rolled onward. Tires hummed like a low chorus. Gravel pinged the wheel wells. Lisa spoke into the stream. "All right, fam, we're approaching mile marker 13. Texas legend-haunted truck, blah, blah. Who here believes drop your yawns or your yikes?" Her chat bloomed with emojis and dares. Kevin checked levels, then glanced at the horizon. Wind scratched along the door seals, whispering up through the weather stripping in a thin, papery hiss. "Stop there," Tom said, pointing. Dead armadillo. Classic Texas B-roll. They pulled over. Tom stepped out with the rig. Jack killed the engine. The pause was sudden and absolute. In the quiet, the ticking of hot metal under the hood sounded like a cooling stove. Kevin cracked his door and breathed the thorny green of night. "You sure we want to do this at midnight?" Jack grinned. "We don't do anything that isn't algorithm-friendly." He looked down the road where the mile marker stood, a white numeral bent just enough to look like it was looking back. Midnight cells. Sarah pulled up behind them and angled the SUV so the headlights made a neat stage out of the blacktop. The county had trimmed the grass only halfway, and then quit. The ditches were shaggy. Somewhere in the weeds, something small scurried. The dry stalks made a faint rattling like beads rolling in a jar. Lisa framed a shot of the mileage post, while Sarah set up a tripod. Tom unclipped a lapel mic and stepped into the beams. Kevin watched the angle on Jack's dash cam. He had taped a small strip of black cloth over the timestamp, not to fake anything, just to keep a sliver of mystery. "Legend recap," Tom said, as the red tally dot winked alive. 20 years ago, a long-haul trucker named Mercer, no first name anyone remembers, blew a tire out here, lost control, and went off the shoulder. People found the rig at Dawn Cab, folded like a busted knuckle. They say he laid there all night, horn-jammed engine screaming, and nobody came. Tom spread his hands. "Now, if you drive through here after midnight, he looks for you." Because somebody should have looked for him. As if the road understood, the grass gave a slow rush of sound, the kind wind makes when it changes its mind. Jack snorted. Or it's a dark stretch and folks get spooked. We roll through, we roll out. Easy ad revenue. They piled back into their cars and idled at the shoulder. 11:52 p.m. Kevin toggled the field recorder. He labeled the new file MM13 RAW because naming things makes them feel contained. "Okay," Sarah said into the walkie. "We'll follow at 2 car lengths. If anything weird, we peel off into that little turnout." Her voice was steady, anchoring. "Seat belts." Kevin's belt clicked. He looked at the mile marker, then at the dark ahead, the way the asphalt made a horizon of its own. A bass throb began inside the sedan. Jack turned up the soundtrack they used to mask road noise, a heartbeat slow, subwoofer low rhythm that made the windows shiver faintly. "Too much?" Jack asked. "Little lower," Kevin said. "We want the real." And then very lightly, somewhere not far and not near a horn, touched the night, a thin testing bleat, like a throat clearing. Tom froze his hand on the focus ring. Lisa in the other car lifted her head. Sarah's eyes flicked to the rear view. "Probably a rancher," Jack said, but softly, as if not to bruise anything. He eased onto the blacktop. The sedan's headlights discovered new things to be afraid of: cracked tar seams, a scab of shredded tire, a white styrofoam cup that flashed and then vanished. The SUV followed a second sun. The cicadas fell out of their own chorus all at once, leaving a pressure in the air like the moment before a house settles with a long, dry creak. Kevin's skin puckered. He watched the dash cam feed the white center line, running like a fuse ahead of them. "Time?" Lisa asked. 11:56, Sarah said. "We'll be at 13 right on the dot if Jack stops stunt driving." Jack laughed under his breath. The sedan's engine purred. Gravel hissed when they drifted a little to the shoulder and corrected. Tom framed the windshield the way the night made a tunnel, the way the light made a door. "Say the name," Lisa said into her mic, because rituals matter even to skeptics. "Say his name so the chat can clip it." Tom considered. "Mr. Mercer," he said to the road. "We're here." He swallowed. "We're listening." The horn came again, longer this time, pushing air until it vibrated in their bones. It had that diesel-born bray that lives half in the throat and half in the metal of the horn itself. Jack's hands tightened on the wheel. Kevin reached for the gain knob and stopped. The bass track under the dash seemed to sink to his pulse, thump, 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 spaced too evenly to be an accident. "Could be some idiot with an air horn," Tom muttered. "Out here," Sarah replied over the walkie. "At midnight, 11:58, Lisa said. 2 minutes. The road offered no shoulders now, only a narrow ribbon of gravel slope into dark. A live oak arched above them and then was gone. They passed the scrap of a roadside cross, the kind made by hands that don't want to forget. Kevin watched the mileage on the dash tick over 12.9. A sound reached them like tires on distant gravel. A crunch crunch, steady, too regular for deer, too heavy for any car lighter than a truck. Tom leaned toward the glass, breath fogging a small oval that the AC immediately wiped clear. "Headlights nothing," Jack said. His voice had no bravado in it now. "Road's empty." And yet, there was a low mechanical murmur, a diesel rattle, not in front, not behind, but around them, as if the asphalt itself had found an engine somewhere under its skin. Kevin's hands lifted helplessly, then settled again. He recorded. They reached the sign. Mile 13 looked smaller than any number should when it stood for something like a door. Jack slowed. "We do one clean pass. Don't stop. No drama." He took a breath. "Ready, rolling," Tom said, and the red tally light burned like a tiny defiant heart. The horn tore across the night, no tentative bleat now, but a full-body blast that flattened the dark and threw it back in waves. Jack flinched. The sedan lurched, corrected. The sound chased itself down the ditches and came back bigger, as if the weeds were echo chambers. Kevin's teeth hurt. "Where is it?" Sarah asked. "I have nothing on glass." Lisa lifted her phone. The screen held only the endless twin eyes of their own tail lights. "Keep straight," Kevin said. "Don't." Something metallic clanged once sharp as a wrench dropped onto concrete, and then another time closer as if it had been thrown. A bolt, a hubcap. The dashcam shook as the sedan rolled over a shallow ripple in the blacktop. The road rose a fraction, dipped a fraction, an ocean made of tar. Jack kept them in the lane by will alone. The tires sang a higher note as speed crept up. Wind grew louder around the mirrors, a blunt, steady roar. "Midnight," Lisa said. "We're here." They passed the marker. There was a dip where the shoulder had given way years ago. The sedan floated over it. The SUV punched through. A faint, glassy tinkling came from somewhere on Sarah's roof rack, as if a forgotten clip were shivering. "Okay," Jack said, laughter back brittle. "See? We're good." "Nothing." Tom lowered the camera slightly. "Nothing is also good content if you sell it right." Kevin, who had been learning every day how quiet can be, the loudest thing, didn't answer. He stared into the dashcam feed the way the road fed itself into the lens like tape into a hungry machine. The horn did not come again. Not at first. The road seemed to exhale. A faraway chorus of coyotes lifted and fell in the surrounding brush, thinned and threaded their yips of bright embroidery on the dark. Tom let out the breath he hadn't noticed he'd been holding. "So, wrap, let's do a pull-off," Sarah said. "B-roll breathers then, home." They drove on. The turnout Sarah had seen yawned on their right, a sickle of gravel and white caliche. Jack guided the sedan in. Sarah eased the SUV behind. The headlights fell on an old guardrail bent outward where something large had shoved from the wrong side. "Stretch," Jack said, stepping out. Kevin followed, recorder in hand. The immediate quiet was a blanket. Then the night's small noises stitched themselves back in grass tick, insect scrape. A soft two-note call from some bird that hadn't learned it was late. Lisa swung her gimbal toward their faces for post-reaction. "We survived the cursed mile," she teased the live chat, scrolling. Mercer, who Tom panned to the guardrail, the ditch beyond it, and the faint white scar where tires long ago had clawed earth. "That's your legend," he said low. "Right there. What if we," Kevin began, but didn't finish. He didn't know what he wanted. "Proof, mercy, guys," Sarah said from the SUV's open door. The walkie at her shoulder hissed faintly. "Listen." They did. At first there was only the wind, a lean susurration. Then beneath it, a pulse like a faraway generator, thrumming a steady muscular note. Jack frowned. "Pump, Jack, wrong direction," Sarah said. She stepped onto the gravel. The sound gathered picked up weight metal upon metal, a spool of chain starting to move somewhere deep in a warehouse. Lisa's chat filled with, "Do you hear?" that Kevin raised his mic as if pointing it could aim the world. Tom turned the camera back toward the mouth of the turnout onto the black ribbon they had just left. The red tally dot glowed. The lens drank the dark like something thirsty. "Headlights," Lisa said softly. "No," Sarah said. "Not yet." Then faint at first, almost imagine the tremolo of a heavy engine turning over that distinctive cough-catch roar of diesel finding its fire. The air itself seemed to square its shoulders. Jack's hand went to his keys. Somewhere out on the blacktop, a horn laid its first warning note, low, sustained, and full of intention. Kevin didn't know if his heart climbed into his mouth or fell through his shoes. He only knew that the bass inside his chest slowed, deepened, matching the long, patient breath of that horn until the two were indistinguishable. Back in the cars, Sarah said calm and very clear, "Now." They moved without running. Jack's door shut. Locks thunked, seatbelts snicked, engines started with a clean, civilized purr that sounded suddenly small. The walkie flared with static. The horn answered fuller now, pressing at the edges of the night, the way thunder presses at the edges of sky. "Pull out," Kevin said, and the camera showed his hands braced on the seat in front of him, as if bracing would matter. Tom framed the road. Jack put the sedan in gear. The headlights swung across the turnout's mouth and the blacktop beyond. It was empty. Still, they felt seen. On the shoulder loose, gravel crackled as if footsteps were pacing just outside the beam, keeping speed with them. Lisa swallowed. "Chat says they're hearing it too." "Good," Jack said, as if a joke might be a shield. He eased forward. Tires found the road. The sedan straightened and accelerated. The SUV tucked in behind. Kevin looked at the dash cam. The white center line ran toward them like a promise and away from them like a threat. Behind the horn rose bright and merciless, and with it came the crush of weight on unseen brakes, the whoosh of displaced air, and the rattling shake of metal parts waking from a long, cold sleep. They did not look back. Not yet. They didn't need to. The road told them what was there. And the road never lied. In the cabin, the bass of the soundtrack was a low, urgent heartbeat. Outside, the night filled with a rising engine that braided itself with wind and gravel until the whole world sounded like pursuit. The first flicker of light touched the inside of their rear window, thin as a thread, bright as a needle. They drove toward whatever came next. And it came fast. The sedan led again, headlights stretched into twin tunnels, while the SUV hovered 2 car lengths behind, like a nervous shadow. Kevin sat stiff in the back seat, headphones around his neck, the recorder still running. Jack kept both hands on the wheel now, no swagger, no casual lean, just white-knuckle grip. "Relax," he muttered. "We're not kids. It's road noise. Diesel carries." But Kevin wasn't looking at Jack. He stared at the dash cam feed where the white center line crawled forward endlessly. It looked less like a stripe of paint and more like a fuse burning slowly toward them. From behind the horn sounded again steady and furious, a long metallic bellow that bent the night flat. Tom swore under his breath, jerking the camera toward the rear window. Nothing. Still nothing. Sarah's voice crackled on the walkie. "Jack, you picking that up?" "Oh, yeah," Jack said tight. "Picking it up in my teeth." The sound grew larger, layering on itself the rush of wind through invisible grills, the grinding rattle of heavy pistons, firing the iron throat roar of gears shifting. Kevin pressed the mic against the seat as if to steady it. "It's not behind us. It's everywhere." Lisa whispered into her phone. "Chat, we're hearing a truck with no lights. Can you hear this?" Her audio feed crackled with overlapping voices in the live stream. Dozens of people typing, "Yes, OMG," in strings of capital letters while the faint echo of the horn leaked through her mic. The road pinched tighter barred ditches, yawning deeper on either side. Brush closed in. Jack pushed the accelerator. The engine of the sedan whined higher, tires hissed against asphalt, and wind rammed harder at the doors. Sarah said sharper now, "Slow down. Shoulders gone. You'll lose it." "Slowing down isn't in the plan," Jack shot back. His jaw flexed. "He wants us to stop. We're not stopping." The horn blasted again this time, cutting in 2 notes. First a guttural moan, then a shriek that climbed like metal tearing. Tom flinched so hard, his camera slammed into the glass. "Jesus Christ, don't say that name out here," Sarah hissed through static. They crested a hill where the road curved in a lazy S. The headlights cut across mesquite and dead cedar posts, then fell onto the scar of a tire blowout still black against the pavement. Kevin's stomach dropped. "This is where I know," Jack snapped. His knuckles were chalk white on the wheel. From the dark behind them came the crunch of something massive riding gravel. The groan of shocks, the clang of an unseen chain striking frame. It wasn't random. It was pursuit. Lisa in the SUV clutched Sarah's arm. "Do you see lights?" "Not a damn thing," Sarah said. But she heard it, the low thunder roll of weight on rubber, a sound you don't mistake when you've ever stood next to a semi. Jack's sedan hit the curve too fast. Tires squealed, rubber screaming a thin banshee wail that echoed off the scrub brush. Kevin slammed into the door, bracing. Tom swore again. The sedan fishtailed and snapped back. Dust sprayed up behind. "Easy," Sarah shouted. "You'll roll us both." Jack's teeth flashed in a rictus grin. That's what he wants. The horn exploded again, right on top of them now, as if pressed into the cavities of their skulls. The sound vibrated everything glass, metal, bone. Kevin clamped his hands over his ears, useless. Tom shouted something lost in the noise. Lisa screamed. And then the lights came. Not headlights, no clean beams, no halogen edges. These were sheets of white that poured over the horizon like floodwater, sudden, overwhelming, featureless. For a moment, Kevin thought it was daybreak. Then he realized it was aimed at them. Behind Tom yelled, twisting. He shoved the camera into the rear glass. The feed showed nothing but white brilliance, a void chasing them. "Floor it," Sarah barked. "Go, go." Jack shoved the pedal down. The sedan roared its small engine, screaming thin and desperate, while behind them, a deeper roar rolled over it, swallowing every decibel like a predator swallowing prey. The horn blasted again, joined by the hiss of air brakes, venting a violent gust that rattled their doors. Kevin shouted, "He's right on us." Tom turned back to the windshield. No shadow, no truck, just light. The S-curve opened onto a straightaway, long and bare. Jack aimed down it like a bullet. The tires howled, wind-buffeted loose gravel spit in bursts under the wheel wells. He laughed once, wild and hollow. This is the footage. This is the video. Kevin leaned forward, eyes wide. Jack, he doesn't want footage. He wants the horn interrupted, a hammer blow of sound that shook the fillings in their teeth. The sedan bucked like something had nudged it. Jack fought the wheel. Sarah's SUV swerved to keep from clipping their bumper. "Pull over," Sarah shouted. "Jack, pull over," not stopping. Jack howled back, not giving him what he wants. Metal screamed somewhere above them like a roof panel ripping or a trailer gate dragged across steel. Kevin ducked instinctively. "He's on top of us, no," Tom whispered. His lens shook. "He is the road." The brilliance behind them surged forward, eating distance. The dashcam's feed went white, washed out, lens drowning. Kevin slapped the recorder. "We're blind, Jack." But Jack's laugh turned sharp, manic. "Let him come." We outrun, the horn detonated in one endless note so loud, it became a waltz so loud, it felt like silence inverted. At the same time, glass shattered Lisa's scream as her passenger window exploded outward in the SUV. Shards rained into her lap, clattering sharp and silver. Sarah swerved, cursed. Sarah's voice shook. "He's choosing you." Jack only pressed harder, teeth, bared veins corded. "Then let him try." Kevin's heart thundered. In the roar, he heard another rhythm, a slow bass thump. Thump, thump his own pulse dragged down to match the engines. Then came the impact. A hollow-bodied boom like a semi's bumper kissing their trunk. The sedan lurched forward violently, metal groaning glass tinkling. Tires shrieked as the car fought to stay straight. Tom slammed into the dash camera, cracking. Kevin's shoulder crunched the door. God, oh God. Lisa's voice shrilled on Sarah's comms. He hit you. Jack's eyes burned wild. We're still here. We're the second hit. Didn't just nudge. It crushed. The horn blared, the roar rose, and the sedan pitched forward as if a mountain had shoved it. Metal screamed. Tires screamed louder. The dash cam shook itself into static. Kevin braced. Tom yelled. The world tilted. Jack shouted triumph or fear or both. And the road swallowed them. The world snapped sideways. Jack's sedan lurched across the blacktop metal, screaming as the frame twisted. The SUV swerved, tires shrieking in protest. Lisa's scream cut through everything, raw, sharp, terrified. Her passenger window had blown outward just seconds before showering her with a glittering hail of glass. The sound of each shard skittering across the dashboard was a frantic patter like fingernails drumming on wood. Sarah jerked the wheel, pulling the SUV back into line before it could roll. Lisa clutched her arm, tiny lines of blood, glinting where the glass had kissed her skin. She raised her phone instinctively, still live, still recording. The screen shook violently, her own terrified face filling half the frame, while the other half showed nothing but the endless taillights of the sedan jerking ahead. Don't stop filming, she whispered, breath ragged. Don't stop. If we die, they have to see it. The horn erupted again, so close now it drowned everything, a blast so thick with vibration, the roof lining buzzed and the mirrors trembled. Sarah gritted her teeth. It's on us. It's on us now. Ahead, Jack's sedan fought to correct. The tortured squeal of rubber against asphalt shrieked in long, tearing notes. The taillights danced left, then right, then straightened again. Tom's camera inside the sedan flickered its stabilizer, fighting for balance, every frame bending. Kevin's voice carried over the walkie, strained and thin. We're hit, he's playing with us. Sarah pressed the comm button with one hand while wrestling the wheel with the other. Stay straight, Jack, don't let him spin you. Lisa kept filming, knuckles white around her phone. Her chat scrolled so fast, she couldn't read words in all caps, endless strings of run and lights, and I hear it. Viewers thousands of miles away were listening to the horn that had no truck. The sound came again, longer this time, sustained until it seemed the world itself hummed with it, until the steel guardrail on the roadside rattled like teeth in a jar. Jesus, Lisa whispered. She pointed her phone to the rear window. The feed showed only black, but in that black there was motion, a shift, a press, a distortion of shadow that was heavier than darkness. Then for one fractured heartbeat, something flared, a reflection, chrome bright as if a grill had flashed its teeth. Lisa screamed, jerking the phone back. Her own scream pierced the cabin, echoing harshly against the glass, layered with the growl of the SUV's straining engine. Sarah reached over, steadying her shoulder. Eyes forward. Stay calm, I saw it. Lisa gasped. God, I saw it. It's right there. It's right. A sudden metallic slam hit the SUV's rear quarter panel, a bone-deep clang that shoved the entire vehicle sideways. Tires shrieked, gravel spat, the suspension moaned under the weight. Sarah yanked the wheel, fighting physics, her face a mask of fury. He's trying to push us off. Don't stop. Kevin's voice wailed over the comm. If you stop, you're done. Lisa braced against the dash, still filming. Her live chat erupted in emojis, terrified messages flooding across her screen. We hear it too. OMG truck, no lights. The SUV straightened barely in time to avoid colliding with Jack's sedan, which was swerving violently ahead. Inside that car, Tom shouted over the chaos camera, rattling. Jack's laughter had gone brittle manic, the sound of someone who had already given himself to whatever hunted them. And then the horn came again, short, brutal, a blast like a command. With it came the hiss of brakes, venting a dragon's exhale that rattled every window. Lisa clutched her ears, crying out. Sarah's hands shook on the wheel. Look, Tom's voice over comms. Side mirror look, Sarah risked a glance. For half a second the mirror caught it, a grille massive towering, filling the glass. But there was no vehicle. No shadow of cab, no shape of trailer. Just chrome that glared like an open jaw. Lisa whimpered. He's right on us. A low grinding began, the unmistakable sound of rubber grinding rubber, as if another tire pressed against theirs. The SUV shuddered with each vibration, the sound deepening into a growl. Sarah floored the pedal. The speedometer climbed the SUV, straining. Jack's sedan pulled further ahead, but the horn never faded. It followed constant, glued to their rear bumper. Lisa's phone shook in her hands. Her own voice whispered onto the stream, chat. If we crash, don't let them say it was fake. Don't let them say we made it up. Suddenly, the rear glass of the SUV spiderwebbed with a deafening crack. The sound was a sharp, crystalline shriek as fissures raced outward like lightning. Lisa shrieked, dropping her phone for the first time. It clattered onto the floorboard, the screen still glowing, still broadcasting. Sarah barked. Seatbelt hold tight. Lisa scrambled, clutching at the strap across her chest. Her heart pounded so loud, it felt like a drum in her throat. And beneath that heartbeat, the bust thump of something larger, something older, syncing with her pulse. Kevin's voice over the comm, frantic. It's choosing, he's choosing targets. Sarah shouted back, stay focused, stay. The horn blasted again, so close it felt inside the SUV, vibrating the fillings in their teeth, shaking the marrow of their bones. Lisa screamed until her throat tore. Sarah bared her teeth, shoving the wheel straight. The sedan ahead bucked again. Jack's laughter shredded into a roar. Faster, he screamed. Faster, Lisa dared one glance into the rear window. The fractured glass turned the dark into a kaleidoscope. But within that fractured dark, she saw them two circles of light. Too high to be tail lights, too white to be natural. Not beams, eyes. She froze. Her body went cold. Sarah, she whispered. It's not a truck. Sarah didn't answer. Her eyes were fixed, wild, locked on the road that stretched endlessly forward. And from behind, the sound of that horn grew until it was all there was, all thought, all air, all time. The SUV chased the sedan like a lifeline, both vehicles tearing down the black ribbon of asphalt swallowed whole by the Texas dark. The broken rear glass behind Lisa vibrated with every bump, fissures spreading wider, as if the night itself wanted to climb inside. Sarah's knuckles were pale where she gripped the wheel, sweat crawling down her temples. Hold steady, she muttered. We don't feed him fear. Lisa sobbed softly, still clutching the seatbelt across her chest. He's not going away. The horn thundered again, closer now, rattling the entire frame of the SUV until it felt like the bolts would shear loose. Sarah bit down hard, forcing the wheel straight. We stay in line. We don't stop. Ahead, Jack's sedan swayed wildly, headlights jerking like a drunk lantern. Kevin's voice came over the comms, cracked and frantic. Sarah, he's pushing us. Jack can't hold him. Tell Jack to keep straight. Sarah snapped. If he swerves, we're done. Lisa raised her phone again with shaking hands. The live stream still rolled. The screen showed chat messages flying faster than her eyes could register. Dozens, hundreds of viewers all screaming at once, "Get out, stop the cars." I hear the horn. The sound of the horn rose, joined by the grinding growl of unseen tires chewing gravel. Then the low hiss of compressed air bleeding through phantom lines. Lisa pressed her hands to her ears and wept. Sarah's eyes cut briefly to the side mirror, and she saw it. For a fraction of a heartbeat, the mirror held the shape of a cab, towering, black, featureless, except for chrome fangs of grille. Its headlights were not beams, but burning voids, white-hot staring. Then the mirror cracked. The sharp snap of glass splitting filled the cabin, spiderwebbing across the mirror in a shriek of breaking crystal. Lisa screamed. "He's in the mirrors, he's right there." Sarah forced her eyes forward. "He can't hurt us if we don't give him an opening." But the seatbelt across her own chest tightened. At first, it was subtle, like the tension of hard braking. Then it pulled harder. Her chest compressed. What the Sarah's breath caught. She clawed at the belt, but it only dug deeper, biting into her sternum. The clicking of the ratchet mechanism echoed. Tick, 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 as if unseen fingers were yanking the belt tighter, notch by notch. Lisa's head snapped toward her. "Sarah, your belt, it's locking." "I can't!" Sarah gasped, one hand leaving the wheel to tug at the latch. It didn't budge. It's jammed. The horn screamed again, the blast so loud it reverberated in her ribcage, syncing perfectly with the crushing squeeze of the belt. Her breath came short, shallow. He's strangling me." The SUV swerved. Lisa screamed. She grabbed the wheel with both hands, yanking it back toward center. The tires shrieked. The rubber's high-pitched scream cut across the deeper roar of the phantom engine, a duet of terror and rage. "Sarah, please." Lisa begged, clawing at the buckle on Sarah's seatbelt. "I can't get it loose, it's stuck, The ratchet clicked again, louder now, tick, 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 as the strap crushed her deeper into the seat. The sound was wet around her, breathing each gasp thinner than the last. Lisa shouted into the comm. He's choking her." Kevin's broken voice bled through. "It's him. It's Mercer he uses. What kills you?" Sarah's vision tunneled, stars bursting in her eyes. She pressed the gas harder, knuckles rigid. "If I stop, he wins, don't stop." Her voice turned to rasping. Lisa clawed at the belt until her fingers bled. "Let her go, please," the horn blared triumphant, echoing through the night like laughter. It rattled the SUV's doors at the dashboard, even the steering column beneath Sarah's hands. Jack's sedan swerved ahead again, fishtailing dangerously. Kevin's scream carried across the walkie he's choosing. "He's taking one of us at a time." Sarah's head slammed back against the headrest. Her lips went purple, her hand still white on the wheel. Lisa sobbed. "Stay with me." Then the seatbelt ratchet snapped once more, one final metallic crack, and the strap cinched tight with a horrible groan of fabric straining. Sarah's last breath came out as a hiss. Her body slumped forward against the wheel. The SUV wobbled, skidded, nearly spun. Lisa grabbed the wheel, shrieking. The tires shrilled on asphalt, rubber shredding, smoke hissing beneath them. The horn sounded one last, satisfied blast. Then silence. Sarah hung lifeless in her seat, the belt locked across her chest like a noose. Lisa's sobs filled the cabin. Her sobbing mixed with the soft creak of the steering wheel under her desperate grip, and the faint clink of broken glass rolling across the floorboard. Ahead, Jack's sedan still roared, but now Kevin's comms voice was trembling. We lost her. Oh God, we lost her. Lisa shook her head violently, screaming at her phone camera, screaming at the chat. You saw it. You all saw it. He killed her. From the dark behind the horn rumbled again, faint at first, then building, climbing, promising. And Lisa knew it wasn't finished. The sedan swerved wildly ahead, its taillights like frantic eyes trying to escape the dark. The SUV had slowed, weaving on the shoulders Sarah's lifeless body, still strapped to the wheel, Lisa screaming beside her. Kevin pressed his head against the back seat window of the sedan, watching Sarah vanish behind them. His throat tightened. She's gone, oh God, she's gone. Tom gripped the camera with trembling hands. Focus, Kevin. We're still in this, but Jack wasn't listening. Jack's grin was wide manic, a terrible reflection of headlights on glass. We're not running anymore. He shouted over the roar of the engine. We're taking him head on. Kevin's eyes widened. Don't you can't fight it? The horn split the night, deafening a brutal wall of sound that pressed into their skulls until their thoughts fractured. Jack screamed back into the noise, laughing. Come on! Come on! The white flood of phantom lights grew brighter in the rear window, gaining stretching long fingers of brilliance across the asphalt. The sedan trembled under Jack's foot as he floored the gas. Jack, Kevin begged. Slow down, please. But Jack howled the sound, almost matching the horn. The engine whined at red-line gears, grinding tires, shrieking as they bit and slipped. Lisa's SUV tried to keep up but faltered, weaving. Kevin glimpsed Lisa's pale face in the glow of her phone screen, a streak of red, where her forehead had already met broken glass. Then came the strike. A bone-crunching impact slammed into the sedan's rear, a metallic roar of crumpling steel. Glass burst into shards that clattered like a rain of knives. Kevin slammed forward against the seat. Tom's camera went sideways. Jack shouted in triumph or madness, it was impossible to tell. Yes, yes! But the phantom truck wasn't stopping. The horn blared again, a scream of iron and fury joined by the thunder of an engine so massive it shook the ground. The sedan lurched. Jack lost the wheel. The tires screamed as the car spun sideways, rubber smoking, the smell of burnt asphalt choking the cabin. Hold, Kevin started, but his voice died. The lights consumed the rear window. Jack turned to face them, eyes wide, laughing hysterically. I see you, he shouted. Then the sound of metal folding exploded around them, a catastrophic crash as the phantom truck plowed through the sedan. Jack's body was wrenched forward, bones breaking under invisible weight. The windshield blossomed red. Kevin screamed. Tom screamed louder. The sedan was shoved off the road, spinning into the ditch. Branches snapped like gunfire, glass shattered in bursts, and the horn wailed over it, all victorious. The car slammed to a stop against a cedar trunk. Silence fell, only silence, and the faint hiss of leaking fluids. Kevin groaned, head bleeding, ears ringing. Tom coughed beside him, clutching the broken camera like a lifeline. Jack's gone, Tom whispered hoarsely. God, he's gone. Then the ground shook. The rumble of a diesel engine rolled across the ditch, not from the road, but from everywhere. At once deep, grinding, unstoppable. Tom turned his camera toward the shattered windshield, toward the black ribbon of road above. His lips moved, whispering, we have to film it. We have to show. A shriek of brakes split the night, a metallic ch-t like claws scraping steel. The ground vibrated. Kevin's stomach dropped. Tom stumbled from the sedan, climbing over shattered glass. We show them, he cried. Don't, Kevin croaked, reaching out. But Tom staggered into the road camera, raised red tally light blinking. Show yourself, he screamed. Show yourself. The The horn answered, blasting so loud the air itself bent. The flood of light swallowed Tom whole. His scream cut short as his body was yanked beneath unseen wheels. Bones snapped like dry branches, flesh tearing under grinding weight. The camera clattered to the asphalt lens, cracked, still recording static. Kevin's mind shattered. He curled in the back seat, rocking, sobbing. Not real. Not real. But Lisa's SUV rolled unevenly into the ditch beside them. She was slumped against the dashboard, forehead caked in blood where she had struck the windshield. Her phone slipped from her hand, the live stream still going, thousands of horrified viewers typing frantic comments. Kevin staggered out, stumbling on broken glass. "Lisa," he croaked, shaking her shoulder. She didn't move. Her chest rose once, then stopped. Kevin dropped to his knees. Alone. Only the road. Only the dark. Then the sound came again. The horn. Long. Endless. Rising from every direction, rattling the trees, shaking the ground, drilling into his skull. Kevin clutched his ears, screaming, but the sound lived inside him now. It became his heartbeat. Thump, 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 slow, mechanical, cruel. The road lit behind him. Twin beams, impossibly bright, stretched toward him. No cab, no trailer, just lights and sound. Kevin laughed. A high, broken laugh. His face smeared with blood, his eyes wide and empty. The horn blared again, a triumphant shriek that merged with Kevin's laughter, echoing across the endless night. And when the dash cam flickered back to life for a final second, its lens caught Kevin standing in the middle of mile marker, 13 arms outstretched, cackling at the approaching lights of a truck that had no driver.